So you're mentioning that like sometimes you're having trouble getting them to commit to exclusively communicating via email, right?
Right. And
Okay.
and that's one of my biggest deals because of course if we have it back and forth with the email conversation, then if anything comes up later on, I can pull that up and say, here you go. Look, you said this.
Right.
Whereas we're not covered on our end on what's said over the phone, and then we go out and produce it, and they're like, "Well, I didn't say I did
I
that."
never said
So,
that. Or that person is not
right,
available and you only can talk to this person. They're like, well, I wasn't there, so I can't. Yeah. So
right,
when you're trying to stick to email, like every now and again, you are going to be stuck having to talk on the phone. Like it's not ideal, but every now and again, you are going to have to. But to avoid it, there are two things that I really recommend doing. One is you can literally just like if an adjuster is trying to call you, just email them back. Or if you do catch them on the phone, just be like, hey, it's way easier for me to communicate via email, like at our office between subcontractors calling, customers calling, mortgage companies calling, insurance companies calling, our salespeople calling, our production manager calling. Like our phone is just ringing nonstop. It constantly gets interrupted. I'm constantly having to put people on hold. So it's way easier for me to communicate via email without interruption. That's the fastest way if you don't mind. So that's one thing that you can just kind of say. But then another thing that you can do, and this is sort of in a case by case basis, but I also have a letter in there that your customer can send that is requesting correspondence exclusively via email for them. But this is kind of like the approach that you'll get with that email is a little bit more stern. Like that's when the insurance company's kind of being difficult about it and you need to involve the homeowner because as I always say, the homeowner has more clout than you and I do because you're the contractor and you don't have a contract with the insurance company. The customer does though. So that's something you can do too. Like if you do get in one of those deals where they refuse to email you back and they keep calling you, just explain to your homeowner, like, homeowner, here's what I'm doing. Like, here's what we're trying to achieve with your claim. You deserve it. This is
hmm
something that needs to be part of it. The problem is, adjusters like to save a buck or two here and there any way they can. And unfortunately, one of those ways is they'll just give us they'll give us reasons why they don't want to pay for something over the phone because they know that that disappears into thin air and we can't prove that they lied about their policy or they lied about what code they choose to follow or not. So would you do me a favor and send them this letter? Basically what this is going to do is allow both you and I to have a record of what I said and what your insurance company said when we've been talking about your claim so that if your insurance company does try to do something squirrely and they're not unknown to do it, they do it from time to time, look at the news. Well, then we have a paper trail that you can, and make it about them, like you can use to validate your position, or if you do have to threaten legal action or whatever. You don't want to have to take it to that level, but it's just kind of like a safety procedure. It's like an insurance policy for your conversations. You know what I mean?
right.